And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 82 of Rope-A-Dope Boxing, where the 2 days bring you a preview of this weekend's World Championship Boxing. And a brief mention of that circus going on in Dallas early hours of the morning. For this Friday night, we're doing this. So, yeah, mate. I normally, when we start these podcasts off, I normally say, how are you? How's your weekend? How's things hanging? What you've been up to? But we met up on Wednesday, didn't we, down in London? It was good to see you, brother. You made the effort to come over from the other side of London, wherever he was working, suited and booted, straight on the beers. Yeah, I had a good night to see you, mate. My part of the Midlands, well, not the Midlands, my part of the Christmas booze up for my ex-school friends, obviously Dave, and friends of the pod who we mentioned, Lee Harper, Adam Miller, and Paul McGrath. Well, Paul couldn't make it, but friends of the pod who don't listen to the pod. But yeah, it was good, again, for about the third or fourth time. It was good to see you, mate. Nice catch up.
It was, and it's always a good laugh when we get together. We do have a good laugh, and then there's a few of Lee's friends there who got involved, who he goes out with every week. End up watching him playing darts. Lee plays darts, so we end up watching him that. You got told to take your hat off because in his working man clubs, you're not allowed to wear hats. I mean, that must be a rule that dates back to the 60s or something like that. But no, it was lovely to see you, mate. It's like I say, it's always a good laugh when we get together, and yeah, it was a shame that it was only brief. Well, it was brief for me. I got home about 10. But I know you and Lee Harper went into the night, well into the night, because I woke up at 6 for work or 5:30 for work and seeing pictures only a couple of hours prior to that. So you had a mental one, but yeah, it was really good to see you, mate. I love it when we get together.
Yeah, right. It was a nice change. So what Dave's elaborating to. So I booked a grotty B&B on Shepherd's Bush Road. It wasn't that bad, to be fair. It was only supposed to be for me, but it ended up fitting three of us in. It was me, Lee, and his mate Joe. Joe's a big, strong, stocky bloke. And there's only one single bed. So yeah, we managed to sleep on it together. Don't get any funny ideas, anybody. But it was no point really, because by the time I put my head down, it was time to go to work. Well, time to go back to the Midlands. I had the lucky sort of escape route, if you like. Lee and Joe, pissed as fart, still went to work. So proper hardcore, man. Really hardcore, going to work sort of half cut. Yeah, I think the extra bottles of wine from Uber Eats at 2:30 in the morning didn't help, Dave. But yeah, it's nice, mate. Same time. Well, I wouldn't say same time next year, but same time in a few months, mate. So hopefully we can get all the Phoenix Fives together, which we will be doing on this podcast for a special Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk 2 preview, which should be fun. It'd be nice to hear different views from casual fans about how it's going to go and what's going to happen. So yeah, enough about our drinking attributes midweek. Let's talk a little bit about boxing. We're going to go into what's happening tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We had a bit of news on Sunday's show when we done our interview with Jessica Barry as well, all uploaded on YouTube. I know people are looking at YouTube more already within 3 or 4 days than they have been doing on the Spotify and on the Amazon and on the Apple. I absolutely love it. Thanks very much. It's probably not even you guys. You're probably just loyal to the podcast itself, audio podcast, but it's different people looking at it as well. So we're getting extra numbers just on our first YouTube videos. How did you find the YouTube, Dave? Do you like looking at yourself in the, not just the mirror, but on the TV now? How did you find it?
It's strange watching yourself back. You like your mannerisms and that. Like I found I tend to look away when I'm talking, But yeah, I say we're getting okay numbers for our first couple of videos. So yeah, pleased with it, mate. But I listened to it on the podcast because I listened to it on the way into work with the earphones in. But yeah, I did go and watch them back. It's probably Probably, yeah. I'd like to think that it's not just us. Keep going on looking at it. The racks of numbers up. There's actually people that are doing the hashtags and having a look, and hopefully it will grow and grow and grow. But yeah, it's the way forward. And yeah, you never know. This time next year, we could be millionaires.
Yeah. It took him ages to be a millionaire, did it? I think as well. Nice new background as well. And I've got something else to add as well when we start talking boxing. But as I said, we've done our news bit last week. We done our Bacoli files last week as well, but I did put out the poll if anybody's seen on Twitter. So Dave is sort of parked the Martin Bacoli stalking the following, if you like, for now. I said it was champion in recess, but he was happy to quit. But we don't quit in this podcast, so you are a champion in recess, brother. We've got 2 days left before votes are in, but I will give it a quick mention that the options for Dave to get a follower for Peter Fury, Anthony Crolla, Oscar De La Hoya, and I'll read other. So anybody else wanted to make any suggestions for Dave to go after so they could follow him. Nobody put anything in apart from myself, trolling my own podcast. I put Adrian Brown up, no one bit, but he's not winning anyway. So just quickly, mate, as I said, there's 2 days left. You've probably seen yourself on 40%. It's Oscar De La Hoya, man of the moment. So at the moment, unless there's a dramatic turnaround, he might be a right twat at the weekend and people don't want to vote for him. He's the guy you're going to have to go after next week, mate. Well,
the only thing, he's active. I don't know that he interacts too much, but I do. Like I said, when I nominated him, I know I've seen people that have blocked people, because I've seen boxing fans and boxing people that we sort of follow and whatnot on the podcast must have said things that, shitty things to him, and then they make a big thing of being blocked by people. So he's blocked a few people, which means he reads stuff. So I feel like, he's got a big following, but I feel like he's on there every day. So there's something for me to comment on every day. Whereas Bacoli goes in Congolese, goes missing for a week, and with us doing it weekly, it's he's hard. So if it's Oscar De La Hoya, then there's something to go there, and especially with him back and forth with Eddie Hearn, I could use Eddie Hearn as a stick to beat him with. So yeah. It'd be good. Like I say, if I can get interaction, it'll give me some interest. And it looks like, all 3 of them are quite active on there, to be fair. But De La Hoya would be a good one. And if I get one, that's mega. If I get
that'd be the biggest, wouldn't it? De La Hoya would be the biggest by a mile, whatever people think of him. So the challenge is on, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's talk a bit of boxing. This is a preview show, no reviews. We're going to preview tonight's boxing over in Dallas, and then we're going to do Latino night as well. But just quickly, it is boxing, guys. I just wanted to mention 44-year-old, this does lead into the circus, 44-year-old Guillermo Rigondeaux, known as Rigo. He was having a dance on Tuesday night, knew nothing about it. You go onto Twitter and you find these not obnoxious, the wrong word, these random fights. And obviously, being a name, being a kind of a legend, if he is, Cuban legend, Rigondeaux, he was still going at the age of 44. He's still strong, the Cuban. Got a first-round knockout, Dave. Liver shot to the body early in round 1. Yes, illegal shot. Still got the skills to pay the bills. Literally, mate, I like watching Rigo. I didn't even know he was fighting. It was last time you spoke about him, he was supposed to be going down the bare knuckle route, wasn't he? But it was nice to see him active, even if it was for like fucking a minute or so,
Yeah, it was. Like I say, he is a legend of the sport, and he was a name, and yeah, we was a bit sceptical being 44, still being out there. But then saying that, you say 44, we've got a 58-year-old fighting tonight. So
hold back, we're going there.
I know we are, but like I say, it was a great shot. It was a standard shot, wasn't it? It was one out the book that you learn in the gym. Straight shot, straight down the middle. Lovely shot, executed very well. Game over.
Yeah, it looked like a liver shot to me. I think.
It was, yeah. But they very rarely like that. Straight down the. I mean, if you go straight down the solar plexus, yes, that one could be crippling. You usually see them shots go there, and I suppose it takes the wind out of him, but it doesn't usually stop him the way it did there. He spat his gum shield out; it just ripped him. But lovely shot. Showed his experience. Has he still got it? You don't know. He has got the skills. He didn't get enough time to look at his opponent to see if he was any good, but he dispatched to him as he should do, and we don't know where. Like I say, we didn't know anything. We didn't even know about this fight, and it's come out of nowhere. Now I don't know what goes next, because I didn't know what was coming before. So it's one of them with him, but we wish him all the best, and if we catch the next fight coming up, we'll preview it. You know what I mean?
Well, that guy he fought was 10 years younger than him. So, again, leading into what's coming. But just quickly on that, he was fighting at super bantamweight. I mean, every man and his dog's calling out Inoue. Does Rigo put his name in the hat to fight Inoue? I mean, he could be more competitive than Sam Goodman. I mean, we're not giving Sam a lot of love on here. I don't think we're going to get egg on our face, but all of them queuing up for a Japanese payday under Uncle Honda, and now we're seeing the affiliation with Uncle Turkey, all trying to get on Saudi, mate. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, 10 years ago, I'd be saying 100%. But I'm very skeptical about pushing for a 44-year-old to go with Inoue at this current stage.
Yeah, sensible, unlike what's going to happen tonight. So let's crack into it. I didn't want to talk about this. I was pissed off of it when it was first announced. It was already been postponed once because of Mike Tyson and his injuries, if you like. There we go. I've got it up on the bottom. See that, Dave? Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
What it's worth, yeah. Have a bit of a play. I started off doing this, absolutely know nothing about technology, and I'm gradually working bits and pieces out. So, yeah, I called it a circus. I was going to open up this segment as well, mate, about talking about circuses. When we were a kid, we always went to the circus. I think where we lived, we had Zippos and Cottrells, full of clowns, and this one is full of a clown. Well, it's got a clown in it. Jake Paul is the clown. But in tongue in cheek, mate, he's not the one I'm angry or annoyed at on this occasion. My sort of annoyance in anger is towards Netflix, and my anger and annoyance as a boxing fan is also towards the commissions. I mean, Netflix globally, the numbers for this is going to be absolutely fucking massive. Everybody's got Netflix. Every man is got Netflix. So they don't have to be like the Zone and build up a following. It's there, it's ready. And there's no pay-per-view rule either. So you wake up at whatever, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, get your remote out, put Netflix on. It's there, ready. The boxing's on. You may pay $5.99, the minimum subscription free. So you can kind of class it as a pay-per-view, but it's more of a streaming subscription service. You've got Mike Tyson, the legend. He'll have a massive following still to this day, even though he's been out the ring for 24 years, mate. And you've obviously got Jake Paul in modern day terms with his, his YouTube following and things like that. The AT&T Stadium, I think it's the home of the Dallas Cowboys, 60,000 sold out. This is talking about doing bigger numbers than Mayweather Pacquiao in terms, as I just said, in terms of eyeballs rather than pay-per-view cost. That's the route we're going down. So we're having a 58-year-old against a 27-year-old, breaking all sorts of numbers. I mean, we do it step by step because I can just rant, and obviously I'll need you to come in as well, mate. So yeah, at the moment, Netflix are showing it. It's sold out by the looks of it, 60,000, Dave. The numbers are going to look to break the biggest ever pay-per-view or eyes numbers, if you like, on Mayweather Pacquiao. Just to start, what do you think about that?
I say it's not for me, and we know this. It's not for me. This whole YouTube boxing, we've not been fans that we don't like it on there, but there is a market for it, and it's showing by these numbers now. Is Mike Tyson part of that? Possibly, but I don't think many Mike Tyson fans, die-hard boxing fans, are going to this to support this, because every die-hard boxing fan you speak to is against it. So the following for this and the gates receipts and everything else that comes of this, it has got to be from Jake Paul's fan base. Now, I don't know enough about YouTubes and all that sort of stuff and all this. I don't really know. I hear stuff from Alfie. To be fair, Alfie's little mate's staying tonight, and apparently they're going to get up and watch it. So that's the audience that they're targeting. And I don't know how many of them are there for Mike Tyson. Obviously, I know who Mike Tyson is. He's a legend of the sport. Everyone knows Mike Tyson, but I still don't know how many of them are there for him and how many are there for Jake Paul. But because I don't know the YouTube stuff. But like I say, I hear things from people saying it brings eyes to the sport, regardless.
It does, yeah,
of what you think of it. And is it good for the sport in the long run because it brings younger people in? Possibly. And because we're old school and because we're diehard boxing fans, I think it's very hard for us to let go and admit that this could be a good thing. I don't mean the fight in itself, Jake Paul versus Mike. I mean the event as a whole. As an event, as what it can bring for boxing and as a sport. The actual main event, which we'll talk about in a minute, is not right. But as an event, as it do I want a YouTuber and a 58-year-old man to have bigger numbers than Mayweather Pacquiao? No. Just because I just don't, I think that the Mayweather Pacquiao thing was earned. No, I'm not saying Mike Tyson, but Jake Paul is famous for being a YouTuber. I think that if to get onto that stage where Mayweather Pacquiao were and are, that's a lifetime's dedication. Jake Paul's got where he is because he's popular in front of for teenagers and youngsters for doing silly pranks and stuff like that. So I'm uncomfortable with that, but maybe that's just me being a dinosaur, and that's just the way I see it.
Well, you made two good points there. I want to talk about. You mentioned about the die-hard boxing fans that don't want to see it. Now, I can't blame the individual because the individual on a separate podcast or individuals says exactly the opposite of what they're saying for their media outlet, their platform they're working for. So you've got ex-boxers, pundits promoting this fight, telling you to go and watch it and what will happen. And these are the same guys that were talking about Deontay Wilder and Derek Chisora to retire. So we've got two guys in Wilder and Chisora, off the top of my head, that, yes, they're back end of their career. Yes, they're losing fights, but they're still active. And now they're promoting a fight against a guy that hasn't fought competitively for 24 years. We last saw him in 2004, 2005, getting beat by Kevin McBride, getting beat by Danny Williams. Since then, he's had so many health problems. He can't breathe. He's always smoking drugs. He hasn't fought a competitive fight for God knows how long. It's being sanctioned, and you're telling people to go and watch it. That's double standards. That is double standards. So we want Deontay Wilder to retire because he's lost it. But we're making predictions and saying, well, what happens if Mike Tyson does beat Jake Paul? Does he get put into the top 15? What if he put him against one of the top 15 guys? Mate, people are thinking it and they're saying it. And it's just not right. He is 58. He's a fucking pensioner. He's a granddad. If you was in a street fight or you was in a fight outside the pub and you saw a guy against, as Mike Tyson is, forget the body Adonis. That's a soundbite. That's bollocks. It means absolutely nothing. We can all go to the gym, look shredded, look fit and ready. Doesn't mean we still got it. And you can see another guy like Jake Paul, 20 years his senior, big, strong, muscly, full of testosterone, knocking fuck out of him. You're going to step in. But you can't step in with this one because it's legal, because it's sanctioned. Morally and ethically, it's fucking wrong. It should not be happening. And I'm one of the guys, I don't care if people are going to tell me, oh, that's the way it's going. It should be like this. This is what's happening. Don't care. No. I've got my own opinion. A lot of people, like you just said, are singing from the same hymn sheet. This is fucking on every level is absolutely wrong. And I tell you what, now, I've written a load of notes, but I'm just going off my heart now. Good. What's going to happen here is if, hopefully, touch wood, nothing happens to Mike Tyson or Jake Paul. If anything happens to him tonight, as an old man, which he is, what happens when you get older? Everything shrinks, your bones get brittle, they're easier to hit, things break. Your reflexes aren't there, the stamina, the conditioning, all that's gone. Forget the videos we've seen him doing fucking fast stands, fast feet, sparring. They're sound bites. It doesn't mean anything. We saw that with Francis Ngannou against Anthony Joshua. Oh, see what Ngannou's doing in the gym. Oh, imagine if he lands on Anthony Joshua. That's fine, but he's an active fucking UFC fighter that's done a bit in boxing against, a former world champion, Anthony Joshua. You kind of get it. This is absolutely wrong. And if anything does happen to him, whether it be knocked out, coma, unconscious, bleeds on the brain, Netflix, the commission has issued him a pro license, and all you guys that have gone out and fucking paid to go and watch this particular fight, a 58-year-old granddad against a big, strong, we call him a YouTuber, but he's done a bit in boxing. He's at a prime age. He's at fucking soldier age, 27. That's good, looking to knock him out, looking for a viral moment, looking to make himself even bigger than what he is. You've got fucking blood on your hands. I ain't. I'm telling you not to fucking watch it, but it's so dangerous. And if Mike Tyson does go and cheat him and say, you don't know what you're talking about, of course I know what I'm talking about, because what if it does happen? We don't know the consequences of what's going to happen. I think it's sick. I think it's sick. And it's a way of making a quick buck on somebody else's back. Yes, people can come and say, well, he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it. Totally get it. But you don't have to fucking sanction it. You don't have to give him a license to do it. Let him have an exhibition. Roy Jones against Mike Tyson a couple of years ago, Dave. Had a bit of darts. You go that way. I go that way. We knew what we were getting. Still done numbers. Both the guys still got paid. Yeah. Why are we doing this? Why? I know things evolve. I know things change. But change means for the better. This ain't for the better, man. No. It ain't for the better. And it's fucking, it ain't fucking right. And I won't be watching. People, yes, you will. No, I won't be. I can swear on my kid's life. And when I say that, Dave knows me. That means 100% I'm not going to be watching this fight. Will I see a highlight moment if there's one? The knockout? Of course I will. Yeah. I'm on Twitter. I went on Twitter the other week. My Twitter's full of boxing feed, obviously. But the other week, mate, it was just full of Donald Trump. I'm like, get rid, because it infilters. So I'm going to see it, but I'm not going to watch the fight. And next week, if Dave wants to, Dave's going to come in now because I'm getting angry. He can review it because I won't be watching it, and that's a fact. That's a fact, mate. So yeah, I've had a bit of a rant and rave there. I'm totally against the fight. I don't want to see it. I don't want boxing going in that way. I don't want Mike Tyson winning and then start talking about him going in the top 15 and challenging, young fit 25-year-olds that are there to knock you out. I hate everything about it, mate. And the only positive thing on this is the fight we're going to talk about next.
I totally agree. And I'll tell you, when you talk about guys saying he shouldn't do it, and then all of a sudden they're in interviews and they're commentating on it, it makes numbers. It's big numbers. So the fact they're talking on it and they're part of the media workout is good for them. So, you know, people can talk about the morals of it and saying, listen, it's a fucking disgrace. Tony Bellew, right? Tony Bellew is dead against it, yet it's signed up with Paddy Power and burst into the fucking, I don't know if you see it.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
With a great granddad with boxing gloves or Paddy Power all over him, but he wants no part of it. So listen, it does that. You know, people say, "Oh, I don't want any part of it." It's a joke, right? Do you want to be part of it? Yeah, because everyone's talking about it. My feed on Twitter all day has been Mike Tyson slapping him at the weigh-in because he stepped on his toe, and all and I haven't actively gone and looked for that. That's just what's popped up, and I was scrolling. It was every other fucking video, just constantly all the way down the way home from work. I'm with you. The guy's 58 years old. He's fighting a 27-year-old man in his prime. Now, and he's stacked as well. Now, I don't want to be liable on here. I don't want to be liable on here. But there's talk of him, juicing up, and then and it's big talk. So,
mate, have you heard anything about drug testing?
No. Exactly, and this is exactly it. So not only is he fighting a man of, a man in his prime, in prime fitness, in the peak of his life, he may be fighting a man in the peak of his life who's juiced up as well at 58. And you made a good point there about taking punches and stuff like that. When you're training and when you're in the gym and when you're at part of that life, yes, you can still get knocked out, but and I don't want to say punches don't hurt, but your body's trained to take these punches. He hasn't taken a punch for 20 odd years. 24. Now, I know he got in with Roy Jones, and that's fine. There was a little bit of a dance and whatnot. That was a glorified sparring session. But a real punch, he's not taken since 2005. That's 20 years ago. And so I see someone else make a good point. Mike Tyson's peak was in the 80s. Mike Tyson peaked in the 80s. Mike Tyson, for however much you love him and whatever the career he had, and he was great, his window of being the baddest man on the planet was a space of a couple of years, because he had all the controversy in the 90s and whatnot, went to jail and stuff. But if you look back at a peak Mike Tyson, it was a few years, and you've got to remember he had 20 odd fights in 1 year. Yeah, you know what I mean. When that's what made him the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. His peak is a space of 2-3 years, and they were the back end of the 80s. We're now 2024. I'm uncomfortable with it. I think anyone you're right there. There's blood on people's hands. If anything happens to Mike Tyson, there's blood on his hands. Now, Jake Paul is a showman. He is a YouTuber. He is all that. But he's talking some serious stuff. He's talking about now he should die. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to knock him out. Now, if he is actually, I know there's a way to sell a fight, and that's absolutely fine. But if he actually believes what he says he's going to do and does try and attempt it to a 58-year-old man, and it's allowed to happen on Netflix and it's been sanctioned, and that is his real intentions, it's a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. Now, this fight's happening whether we like it or not, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it's happening regardless of what we say. But if anything happens to Mike Tyson, there's blood on everyone's hands. There's blood on everyone's hands, and say what I would like nothing more than to Mike Tyson to slip one and knock him out. But
I think that's what most people are hoping for, aren't they? We haven't said anything positive on here about it, and I'm not going to. But I think that's the narrative. Everyone wants him to go in there, knock him out early, and say you don't play boxing.
Do you know what it is though? That's what's making certain people watch as well. It's like when there's a fight is really disliked, he gets views because people want to see him get knocked out. So there's the hero and villain sort of situation. So people can hate boxers, but they'll watch their fights because on the off chance they get spanked, and when they do, they go, "Hi!" Videos sharing, look at this prick. You know what I mean? And Jake Paul's very much that guy in this fight.
He don't care though.
But he doesn't care, no, because it's all views to him. Because we live in a generation where views rule the world, and he's made a fucking fortune, the geezer, and he's gonna make a fortune from this.
Well, I've seen the reported numbers are 20 million for Tyson and 40 million for Jake Paul. On a positive note for Jake Paul, I've got to admit, if anybody goes back into the archive and listen to our episode, me and Dave have given Jake Paul love. We've got receipts to prove it. So obviously, when he went down the YouTuber route, he went down the ex-basketball players, the ex-UFC fighters, done all that. No respect, couldn't care less. That was the proper start of misfits, crossing over boxing. Couldn't give a shit about that. And I kind of feel sorry for him in a way, not too much, but I kind of feel sorry for him because he went, look, okay, now I'm going to go down. I'm going to matchmake. I'm going to get my team to matchmake. against boxers, legit boxers who've been in the gym most of their lives, that got the same age as me, same record, same knockout ratio, etc. And he done it. And we spoke about all his fights now. I think he's had 3 previous to this of fighting boxers, and he's got 3 knockouts. And we're like, okay, I'm with this. We were coming out with names like Chevon Clark and guys over in the States for him to fight next to work his way up to Canelo. And then what done it for me, Dave, was that last fight when he was in Puerto Rico. He made Amanda Serrano, everything he's done for her. He's a great promoter, great businessman. She's getting fucking paid. She's getting weighed in tonight. We'll speak about it. Yeah. He made her main event. He was on co-main or chief support. He got a viral moment, knockout against a legit boxer, right? Done. But like the week after, nobody was talking about it. They were actually talking about Amanda Serrano getting hair dye in her eye. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, to me, he thought, right, so I'm doing what people want. Nobody's talking about my knockout. No one's giving me any respect. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go and do my thing now. And he's such a good businessman. He's gone away. He's plotted this, and it's going to be the biggest fucking probably sporting event watched on TV ever. He's got bollocks. I fight who I want. I don't care about what you guys got to say. I'm making even more money than you are. I'm a multi-millionaire. I live the high life. Don't get me wrong. He's in the gym training, doing all things like that. But he's gone down the boxing route. Hasn't really been given any respect. And he's going down this route now. So what are we going to do next? Fucking Evander Holyfield, who we saw last year getting knocked out at his age. Yeah. He was touching 60, if not past 60, against an ex-UFC fighter. Some of these guys like Tyson and that, mate, they think they've still got it. The brain tells them they still got it, but the body can't do it. It reminds me of Rocky IV, Ivan Drago and Apollo. Watching him, who's this young buck coming in here? This Russian dude knocking everybody out. I was the champion. I can still do it. This has got those sort of vibes. But the thing is, mate, that was a film. This is real life.
Yeah.
This is real life. And just to end on this one, mate, because we could rant all night about this, just to end it on there, Mike Tyson is not Benjamin Button. He's getting older by the fucking second, like we all are. And he retired at 38 for a reason. Other times, no more, son. No more. No. So I'll just pray, not just Mike Tyson, but Jake Paul as well. They both get out safely tonight. They both don't get too hurt. They can shake hands and have a drink after and think, what a great show we put on. But that doesn't mean that I'm not against it. I hate everything about it, and I will not be watching it.
No, neither will I, mate. Neither will I. I'm with you. I will see the viral moments and whatever, if there is one, or I will see clips of it. I will not be watching it.
Get away from him, Dave.
No, like I say, my son's going to watch it, so I'll hear about it when I get up. But it's not for me, mate. I can't get on board with a 58-year-old man fighting a 27-year-old, regardless of what you think of his skills and that. He can still punch. You know what I mean? So he's knocked out a lot of people, regardless of their abilities. He's still got knockout power. So how's
that sanctioned, by the way? Sorry, how's that sanctioned as a pro fight? It's going to go on both their records. So it's 8-2s. It's 8-2s.
8-2s.
14-ounce gloves.
14-ounce gloves. Yeah.
That's pro under the men's game. That's not a pro. That's the Jake Paul influence. I did hear earlier on in the week that apparently when he fought Tyron Woodley in the contract that Tyron Woodley was not allowed to throw combination punches. So is that in Mike Tyson's contract? Is it scripted so Jake Paul does win, but does it a certain way? I'd rather it be scripted so Mike Tyson doesn't get hurt. That pleased me, but there's no proof in it. Probably get it after, things come out in the contract after. Just wish it wasn't going ahead. But we'll talk about something that is going ahead. The co-main. This should be the main event. This is the best fight, one of the best fights in boxing. And if you're a hater of women's boxing or hater of women's sports, this ain't the fight for you. Switch off, but you're not going to switch off because the first one was fucking amazing. I'm talking about Amanda Serrano, just messing up with my computer, and Katie Taylor, number 2, or the other way around because Katie Taylor has got the belts. Richest fight in women's boxing, Dave. One of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight in women's boxing. There's a rumored $12 million purse, $6 million each is being rumored. Obviously, Amanda not being the champion is going to get weighed in just as much because she's part of the MVP promotion company. Yeah. Undisputed super lightweight titles on the line. Me and you have spoke about this before. We spoke to all our female guests that have come on the pod before. We've asked the same question. Katie Taylor versus Serrano 2. How does it go? Been kind of mixed, but we spoke about it so much, and I think we're both in the same camp when it comes to predictions, mate.
Yeah.
Can Katie Taylor still do this at her age 38? 20 minutes of high pace, high volume. The first fight 2 years ago was a slobber knocker. There was punches, just for 20 minutes solid. We just had skills that pay the bills, the sweet science, hit, not get hit, went out the window. It was just 20 minutes of pure fucking anger, rage, boxing. It could have gone either way. Kate was winning, then Amanda was winning. And then, then it was in the middle of the ring. They were knocking fuck out of each other. Then Katie come forward. Then Amanda went forward. Then Katie went back. And Amanda went back. You had everything. Anybody that hasn't seen the first one, boxing fans would have done. Just go and watch it before you watch this tonight. Super, super impressive. One of the best fights I've ever seen. Did massive numbers. And this is going to do even more. I'm so pleased that both girls, just as a fan of women's boxing as well, are getting weighed in. And I can't wait for this, mate. I know which one I'm going to swing. It's quite obvious. But I can't wait to watch this fight. And I've got to be honest now. I'm being a bit hypocritical. I will not be setting my alarm because I don't want to get drawn into that nonsense after. But when I get up, Cocoa Pops, this is the first. I won't go on social media. I'll go straight on my TV, get it back up, and I'll have a nosy and see how the outcome, how it was in the end. So yeah, mate, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, part 2. Thoughts on them getting weighed in. Thoughts on the second fight. Thoughts on the first fight. Can't wait, Dave. Can't wait.
All right, this is the only positive from Jake Paul in this event is the fact that this is happening. And they're getting money they deserve. They talk about equal pay and stuff like that. This is it. This is what it's all about. But the first fight was a fantastic fight. It could have swung either way. I edged it for Serrano. I've made my opinions clear on that. But she didn't get the nod. And to be fair, as much as I love Katie Taylor, she's had a couple of fights like that. We did speak about it the other day. I'm looking forward to this rematch. I really, really am. I think it still will be a close fight. But I think that Amanda Serrano will edge it this time up based on the fact that I feel like the last few fights, and Katie Taylor's gone in with some really good fights. She doesn't usually go in with she doesn't really have a couple of knocks and gets away with a few. She's been in with good fighters. Chantel Cameron being one of them. She's been in with her twice. So she's had some hard fights in her career, but I feel her style, her work rate, it's starting to slow, and it happens to us all. It really, really does. The fact that Amanda Serrano's been campaigning with 12 threes, for me, makes me feel that she'll do the rounds better. So I think Katie Taylor's in this fight is going to be good for the first 4 rounds. And then I start to think round 5, round 6. I think Amanda Serrano starts to take over. So yeah, for me, it's a great fight. Really looking forward to it. They're both legends of the sport. Whatever happens in the future, however long they go on, they're going to be Hall of Famers for the women. They've done wonderful things for women's boxing. They should be proud of the legacies that they've left for women. And this fight I think it will be a great fight. I really, really do. Prediction wise, for me, I think Amanda Serrano is going to win it, and I think she's going to win it on points.
You said something the other week. I forget who we spoke. It's one of the girls we spoke to, and you said Amanda Serrano still looks fresh at 36.
It does.
I think that's key. Katie doesn't. I know there's 2 years difference, but Amanda does look fresh at 36. She's jumping up 3 weight classes as well. I mean, she's been a multiple weight world champion and around those weights, and she's looking for the KOs as well now. I wouldn't say it's frightening because tonight I love both girls. Echo everything you said there, mate. But tonight I'm edging for Team Serrano. I think she's going to do it. And as she's looking for knockouts, you've had the whole thing with the WBC, been in the belt, looking for 3 minutes. She says she can get knockouts. She's going to prove it. She's on the biggest stage in world boxing in terms of eyeballs. If it goes like it did the first fight and Amanda Serrano wins, will Katie Taylor want the trilogy? You could have an Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera female version of a trilogy. It was that good. You know what, Dave? I'm going to go for a stoppage.
Oh.
I'm going to go for a late stoppage for Amanda Serrano. I think she's going to stop Katie Taylor in the last round.
Do you think a referee's going to step in? Just sort of.
Do you know what? I'm not going to be I'm going to be kind of fair to MVP promotions, but Amanda Serrano is the home fighter on an MVP card.
I think
anywhere near this. Say again.
I think that can be a factor as well. I don't think it will come to if it was a close decision. I feel that it's at the stage where Serrano would get it based on that. But I think it's going to be a close fight. But I think it'll be. I still think
once you start swilting the back end of the fight, will it be a chance of not so much getting the nod, but the referee says too much now. You're taking too much tournament. Whereas last time he just let them knock the fuck out of each other.
Yeah. I agree. I say if it comes to a close decision, I think that she'll edge it based on being the home fighter. But I don't think it will. I'm with you. I can sort of see where you're coming from. But I think pride will get Katie Taylor through them last few rounds. I think. And then I think I get a funny feeling that it'll probably be she'll. Yeah. I don't want to talk about retirement, but I think I think we talk about people growing old overnight. I've seen a decline anyway, but I think she made them realise in them back end rounds that maybe that's enough's enough.
Yeah, you're right, mate. I mean, you're right. You mentioned Delphine Pursoon as well the other day. She knew she lost that fight. She avenged it, and she was much better. That was a few years ago. Same with the Chantel Cameron one. She avenged that, and she got the job done. I think now at 38, 2 years on, it's not the same. Not the same Katie Taylor. So yeah, I can't wait to watch this one. As I say, in the morning with me Cocoa Pops. But I think Amanda Serrano, it's going to be her night this night, irrelevant of her being the home fight and whatnot, and which is a cherry on the top, mate, for women's boxing per se, if you like. This could be the best. This could be the biggest ever watched world title fight ever, and that's including men.
Yeah,
ever. So anyone that says, "Oh, no one cares about women's boxing," just go and have a nose at the numbers of this. And before they say, "Yeah, but they're only here for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson," correct? But the people like stats and facts. Have a look at the numbers. There's your stats. There's your facts. Don't argue, mate.
Yeah.
Right. A couple more on this card. There's a couple of interesting fights. We'll jump over to somebody that we talk about quite a lot on here. Shushu Carrington. He's having a dance here against Dana Coolwell. He's an Aussie fighter. I think he's from the Aboriginal community. I saw the weigh-in earlier. He had a tattoo, Aboriginal tattoo on his chest. Don't know anything about him, Dave. I've got to be perfectly honest, mate. We saw Shushu early on in the year. Well, a couple of months ago. He got a majority win against Solomon Sagawa. We both previewed and reviewed that fight. On the review, we both come to the same conclusion that Shushu was learning things on the job. And again, I keep quoting you. You made a point by he was allowing Sagawa to hit him. We saw what it looked like.
Yeah.
But by doing that, I get why he's doing it. You've got to learn on the job. Of course you have. You can't just have one game plan. He got the job done,
Yeah.
I don't want to see that version of him tonight. I don't think we will see that version of him tonight because it wasn't a good look. He's been criticised on social media. We haven't criticised him. It was just sort of a different performance from him. We've normally become accustomed, mate, to seeing Shushu with fast hands. He's got fast feet. He's very spiteful. Mm-hmm. And again, I keep talking about numbers. I keep talking about eyeballs. This is the platform to do it, unfortunately. It's tonight to do it. But I suppose, again, I'm sort of going off piece a little bit because what I've learned in the last week, Shushu's not on the main card. He's on the fucking prelims. So you've got a superstar in around featherweight, around those weights, that's going to be one of the next Black American superstars, but we're kind of ignoring him. So the people that are setting their alarms to come out and watch, the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul circus, they should be able to see Shushu Carrington as well, have a nosy, because this kid is one of the next stars of American boxing. And I truly believe that. You've said it in the past. He's allowed one okay performance.
Yeah.
And we've just seen Ray Ford last week do his bits and bats. That's super featherweight. So you're looking down the line. He's made a bit of a statement. Got a couple of knockdowns, look really good. Shushu's turn now. And he's on a massive platform, mate. So I'm expecting good things from Shushu tonight.
Yeah, no, I am as well. You had it right there. His performance in his last fight weren't great. We said he looked very gaunt going into it. We felt like he was maybe struggling to make weight. Again, I saw his face this week. And I don't know whether it's fight week or whatever else, or whether he does struggle to make the weight or what, but his face does look very gaunt in the lead up to fights.
It's the eye sockets, isn't it?
Yeah. He looks like he looked like the Thriller video. I think I said that about someone, didn't
I? I didn't notice that. You are right,
yeah. But I think that the performance he had last time. Yes, he got the win. Yes, he made it harder than he needed to make it. We reviewed Sagawa and we saw flaws in that he could expose in his fights prior to that, and he didn't do it. And he caught too many shots. I feel that's the reason why he's out so quick. To try and not to say wrong the rights, or right the wrongs, however you want to say it. But just put that one to one side. He had a little bit of criticism, which I think was unfair. Come out and do a number on this guy, and show what he's really about. Learn from his. I wouldn't say mistakes, but tuck up a little bit more. Don't get caught with silly shots, and then come into this performance as a confidence builder. Shown. Don't get caught with silly bits and bobs, But he gets this opportunity on a big platform, which is great, and I'm sure he's getting paid probably more than he would have done in all his previous fights, just for being on this show, and that's a positive for being on it. So, for me, I'm expecting a real good performance tonight. You said Ray Ford there, and that's a great example. I actually can see the same sort of situation here. And and then like we said, you're only as good as your last fight. And like I say, fans are fickle. 1 minute you're talking about Shushu, oh maybe he's not as good, and maybe he's not ready for these guys. He puts a performance in tonight, and he's back. So for me, I can see a really good performance from him tonight, and I'm going to go for Shushu KO in round 7.
Yeah, mate. No disrespect to his opponent, but Shushu is the next guy.
Yeah,
down at featherweight or super featherweight. You just said there about struggling to make weight. He's going to have to put on a bit of a show. But his opponent, Coolwell, know nothing about him. Hasn't really fought out of Australia. I think he fought Dubai once. Have a look at the resume. There's no one in there to know. He's going to be looking to make a statement as well, mate. He's on a massive platform. He's probably been working fight on this platform ever again. So he's coming to look for an upset. He wants to come Saturday morning. He wants people to be talking about Coolwell, not Shushu Carrington. So
it could be a Josh Padley moment.
There you go, mate. You never know. But Shushu looks, apart from his last fight, when we gave our reasons why he done okay, but revert to type. I want to see that Shushu, and he should blast him out. I mean, this guy's 13-2. He's got 8 knockouts. Because we're quite high on Shushu anyway. There's a bit of bias there. So I'm going to go the same way as you, mate. Did you say 7? Did you?
Yeah, round 7. Yeah.
I'm going to go a bit earlier. It's normally you to go for the early ones. I'm going to go round 4. Yeah, round 4. Good luck, boys. Also on this card, there's a welterweight world title fight, mate. Let's just get the old names up for the masses before I crack into it. There we go. Well, welterweight world title fight. Get it out, Dave G. On this card, Mario Barrios, as you can see there, taking on Abel Ramos. Good fighter, Barrios, mate. Had a setback a couple of years ago. He was stopped late by Gervonta Tank Davis, and he had a points loss to Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman's not really active. So see how long ago that was. I think that was Thurman's last fight. Had a bit of a rebuild. Yes, he is world champion, and he's getting stick for being an email champion. But if you have a look at the division, Dave, they're all email champions. Staniosis, Boots, Norman Jr., they're all buds belts. So they're all in the same sort of, they've all been handed a world title. We saw Boots last week. Very unimpressed with him. So it's not really, a strong division. And I'm quite underwhelmed by his opponent in Ramos as well tonight, mate. I mean, you have a look at his record. He's 28-6. He has got 22 KO. So he has got a good knockout ratio. And he has lost to names as in Pro, Gray, Baranchik, Jamal James, and Ugas as well, But those names I mentioned there, you kind of have to put Barrios in with those names. So I think I'm looking at a world champion against possibly a B-C kind of fighter, not being too disrespectful. I call him a B-level fighter because of his knockout ratio and the guys he's been in with. But again, mate, I'll keep saying the same thing about this card. The millions are watching, and it will be on Saturday night with the Latino card. He's going to have to make some sort of statement because everyone's calling him an email champ. Everyone's calling Barrios a paper champ. No one's giving him any kind of love, really, bar his stable and his X amount of supporters. But I'm hoping to see good things. I think he's a good fighter. I think Barrios is a good fighter. It's just in a shit division, mate. So yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like I say, there was talk recently as part of news. I'm the David McDonald guy. Remember that? Yeah, the dongs. But that Pacquiao was going to come out, and remember he was looking to get a shot at Barrios, and I think come on, he's 45. We had the same sort of concerns that we've just spoken about. But this fight. It's an intriguing fight. You said Abel Ramos there. He's been in with names. He's fringe world level. He's a solid opponent
fringe world level. Yeah, sorry, mate. That's a better terminology. Fringe world level.
I would say he's a solid opponent. Is this Barry's first defense since he's been upgraded?
I'm not sure. I haven't got. No, I don't think it is. I'm not too sure. I haven't got box spec on me, so don't quote me. He might be.
Either or, it's a solid enough opponent for a world title defense. Looking at the names that he's been in with. Yeah. So But this is a card for him to shine for Barrios for me. Get a decent name on his record. For me, he's one of the weaker champions in the division with the names that you rattled off there. Boots, yes, Boots is coming off a poor performance. We've said that, but I would say if you was a fighter coming up and you looked at the champions in that division, Barrios would be the one you probably target, which is probably why Pacquiao was calling this. Pacquiao has been linked to him and not anyone else at that time. But this is his chance here to show what he's made of. I'm with you. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a solid fighter. And I think this is going to be a decent enough scrap here. And you know what? I'm not going bold, but I'm going to go for Barrios to win on a points decision. I think a points decision is. I think it's going to be fair. I think it's going to be nip and tuck for a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm going for a points win for Barrios.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Fringe world level, I think you nailed it. Rather than me going down the BC routes kind of thing, I think Barrios is probably a level above him, and his boxing will not so much get him out of trouble, but will do enough for him. Yeah. I'm hoping he makes a statement. He'll be looking to make a statement. But again, Abel Ramos will be looking at a statement as well, mate. Quite clearly, he can punch 22 KOs in 28. So, but he has lost 6 times against names, and Barrios is a name in that division. So, yeah, I can see where you're going. I'm going exactly the same. Mario Barrios, mate, to win by points. So that was the picks from tonight's boxing over in Dallas. We're going to jump into Saturday night's boxing now. It's Latino night. Do you like the name, Dave? Latino night? Sounds like
why not?
Doesn't it?
Sounds a bit Strictly Come Dancing, a bit of salsa, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have put a bit more effort into it. I was talking to someone on Twitter the other day, and he was kind of poo-pooing it, and I was kind of defending it, and I thought, no, he's right, actually. The more you say it, the more it sounds shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an Uncle Turkey show in conjunction with Golden Boy. This is an Oscar card, basically. I know Ben Shalom and a couple of other pros are on it, but there's no British Boxing Body Control sanctioning this. They're not the commission. And obviously, Uncle Frank, who's the normal guy with Uncle Turkey, even though he hasn't got fighters, he's normally in there with him. Nothing to do with Frank, nothing to do with Eddie. This is Turkey, and this is Oscar, mate. A nice little warm-up card for Fury versus Usyk #2. But that's not what's on tomorrow night. The fight that's on has just come up there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez versus the UK's Chris Billam-Smith to unify the cruiserweight division. And the winner, hopefully, going on to fight Dave's boy, Jaya Pataya, who is deemed to be the best in this division. And I conclude he probably is. This is the second best. The winner of this, to me, Dave, is the second best. So yeah. I want to jump in straight with Chris Billam-Smith. Isaac Chamberlain, Lawrence Okoli, Richard Riakporhe. I think I backed against CBS every time. Even the Masterneck fight, the Polish guy, there was, I'm not too sure. It's a tough fight for his first defense of his world title. Backed CBS in the end, and he did come through. But my point is, mate, I've always kind of gone against him because it was always Chris Billam-Smith will be a British champion, maybe get to European level, and then that's his ceiling. He's proved me wrong. He's proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
Legit world champion at cruiserweight. He's done exactly what's asked of him. He's come through tests. He's won when he hasn't supposed to win, especially that Okoli fight. I think that was the one I was more or less right. This is it now. That's his ceiling. Okoli's boring as fuck, as you say, but he's got that reach. He'll old man, he'll hold you, and he'll have his moment, and he'll stop him. No, man. It was Chris Billam-Smith tonight, man. He put him on the deck. He beat him up. It was a great performance. And then again, my head ruled my heart. I thought Richard Riakporhe would have the power to stop him. Richard Riakporhe got beat up as well. So my point is, just I don't think I'm ever going to back against Chris Billam-Smith. That's what I said to myself, Dave. But Zurdo, man, fucking hell, Zurdo Ramirez started off at super middle, didn't he? Went up to light heavyweight. He's just such a big boy, and now he's up at cruiserweight. He's a legit cruiserweight now. He's he's a world champion. He had a great win against Gulamarin earlier on in the year. He became the WBA champion, and he's up against guys his own size now. He's not bullying anyone anymore. This to me, Zurdo's a good fighter as well, by the way. He's got great feet. He's got a good jab. He likes fighting in a phone box. He clocks up rounds. Good, exciting fighter. Big Mexican guy, Mexican American. This is how unification should be, Dave. Because I've been swaying it forward since this fight was made. To me, this is 50-50. I can't split them because I can see reasons for CBS and I can see reasons for Zurdo. And until I just saw weigh-in, Chris Billam-Smith's slightly bigger, but he is the natural cruiserweight. But mate, something's telling me about Zurdo. And I don't want to go down that golden boy card narrative either because Uncle Turkey's here. This is Uncle Turkey's time, right? So he's here to clean boxing up. He ain't here to make fucking... Uncle Turkey doesn't want anyone to go away on Sunday morning saying, do you know what? Chris Billam-Smith won that. You've got Turkey had a shake there. Why is he employing those fucking corrupt judges? I don't think he wants that. This is going to be as fair as fuck. But I can't make my mind up, man. So I want to see what your take is on this. This is a great fight, by the way.
It really, really is. I mean, I'm fairly maybe been critical of Chris Billam-Smith over the years. Yeah. And I you know what it is with him? He's very effective in what he does, but he does nothing amazing. And so it's the subtle things that have got him where he is now. As he got to where he is because of the pool in that division at this current time, possibly, of years gone by, would he have been good enough to get here? Again, there's no way of knowing, but you'd like, opinions are, everything, and I'm not so sure. But listen, you can't take away from what he's achieved. And I would like to say as well, he's a really, really nice bloke as well. I've seen things this week, videos and that of him this week and his family talking and him getting upset and that. He's a really likable guy. And you know what? Fair play to what he's achieved in his life and his career. And I can't take anything away from him there. And I'm with you. I've always gone against him. For me, his biggest win and his best win is Lawrence Okoli. And so make of that what you will in an era of cruiserweights. You're going from Alexander Usyk, who's undisputed, has gone up to heavyweight now, and then now these guys. You know what I mean? I know Alexander is maybe a poor example to use because of how great he is, but when he was fighting in the Super 6 series against them guys that he beat, you know what I mean? Like in their primes and that, it's a different division than it was then. But anyway, you can only beat what's put in front of you is the cliche. And you know what? Chris Billiam-Smith has done that, and fair play to him. And now this is his name up in lights on a big show in Saudi Arabia. Uncle Turkey is the name on everyone's lips in a minute, and fair play to him. So yeah, I wish him all the best on Saturday night. And yeah, I'm with you. People just look at Zurdo and think, oh, he's going to win this, but there's factors in it. And like I said a minute ago when I started this off, Chris Billiam-Smith doesn't do anything like a wow factor with what he does, but his work rate, his subtleness to what he does that you don't really see. He's a very good, tidy, steady boxer.
Yeah,
but he's not like, but he doesn't do anything amazing. But he does the fundamentals.
Fight, Dave. Sorry, mate. You look at the Masterneck fight.
Yeah,
he was getting his head pinged off everywhere. He was blown out of his arse. But the link up with Shane McGuigan's brilliant because he had a game plan B, he had a game plan C, and they've changed it up. People say, he got away with one that night. He didn't get away with one. He changed the game plan, went to the body, and he made, Masterneck quit. He wasn't doing that early in the fight, so something changed. It's such a good connection with Shane McGuigan. Like we say with McGuigan, with Adam Azim as well. Yeah. Some of the fights just clicks. And you say he's not very exciting. He does everything sort of basic. He hasn't got the wow factor, but it's working. Trainer and fighter.
Effective. It's effective, yeah. It's effective in what he does. And like I say, you can't buy a good relationship when it comes to trainers. You just look how many people bounce and whatnot. Yes, it don't always work, but a lot of the success stories over the years have come with fighter and trainer. Ricky Hatton, Billy Graham being one of them. You know what I mean? They come as a pair, and and it's looking like Shane McGuigan and Chris Billiam-Smith are that. You find someone you click with and it works. And like I say, I wish him nothing but the best tomorrow night. Good fighter. You see people saying because it's Chris Billiam-Smith and he doesn't have the wow factor that he's just going to go in there and lose. I don't see it that way. Zurdo's a very, very good fighter. He's come up the weights. He was always a big super middleweight. He was probably a big light heavyweight as well.
He was, yeah.
In his last fight against Gudamari, we were starting. How's he going to do against a natural cruiserweight? Because Gudamari was a big, big lad. And he came through it, and he came through it very well. And it's a very good win. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I've been toing and throwing, and
sorry, mate. This is our unification: the best versus the best. Well, Bar Jabataia, the best versus the best in the division. Sorry, that's how we shouldn't have red corner beats blue corner. We should be sitting here like we are now, saying there's X reasons for him, there's X Y reason for him. That's why we can't pick them. It's not an easy fight to pick. This is how boxing should be. And this is how Turkey's making boxing. Hard fights to pick. That's how it should be, man.
Yeah, it should be. And it really is hard to call this one. So, yeah, I've been thinking about this one today. And unfortunately, it's something that I've done quite regularly. I've gone against Chris Billiam-Smith, and I'm going to go against him again.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a really, really tight, close fight. But I'm just going to... I think Zurdo's going to nick it on points, but I think it will be close. I think Chris Billiam-Smith will be better than, especially in the Masterneck fight. How he started.
It has to be, yeah.
But I think that Zurdo's going to eke a points victory. Unfortunately.
You know what? Because I keep backing against him, and I keep getting egg on my face, and every time he wins, so I want to kind of keep that run up, but I don't like backing against him. He's fighting away from home for the first time as well, if that's worth anything. We've seen Ramirez going with Bivol as well. I saw some people talking about that. Look, forget Bivol. Forget Zurdo's a world champion. He's world class, but Bivol's elite. Me and Dave were talking about this before. You've got a handful of elite fighters, then you've got world-class fighters, and then you've got world level and fringe world level. That's just how it works. So you can't use fucking Bivol as any kind of benchmark, and it's a different division as well. But I'm the same, mate. I think CBS needs to knock him out to win. I think Zurdo will be too far on the cards, mate, and I think CBS will come in late. Zurdo as well. It's probably got a great team behind him. They've got a game plan. They've watched enough tape of CBS to know what he's like. Have a look at that Mustanek fight. He was well beyond on the cards, pulled it out the bag late. Does Zurdo do enough, in the first, 1 to 8 rounds, and then sort of sits back and lets CBS come on and navigates his way at staying out of range? Mate, yeah, I hate doing this, but I'm gonna say I've got the same feeling as you. I think he needs to knock him out, but I think Zurdo's got enough. I think Zurdo will do it on points.
Yeah.
I want Williams to win as well.
Yeah, I do as well.
I'm a dog in a fight, but because I feel guilty not because he's a Brit. I'm not down. I always back against him, and I'm doing it again. I hate myself for doing it.
I know, and yeah, exactly. And do you know what it is? And I said it earlier there. I say doing the fundamentals is a great thing to do because people get lost in trying to do other things when fundamentals are key. And if you can do them well, but people overlook it. And because he does the fundamentals very well, and it doesn't seem to be exciting. Although against the Cody, it was exciting because he knocked him down 3 times, and that's why it's his best win. Yeah. But people overlook that, and I feel I'm probably guilty of it. And I'm a man for fundamentals, but for me, just doesn't do anything fantastic, which means I always look at him like he's beatable. So and that's basically what it is. But I just think Zurdo will just nick it. I think it'll be close though.
I don't feel after whatever happens in the fight, mate, on Sunday morning, I won't feel as guilty because hand on heart, I think Gilberto beats both of these guys.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think it's only a matter of time. If the fights can be made, he'd be crowned, the undisputed champion. Obviously, we've got the Mikalainen on the Don King show. No one knows what's going on with him, but at the moment, it's about these 3 guys. So yeah, good luck to both. But me and Dave both think Zurdo's going to get the job done. Also on this card, ladies and gentlemen, we've got there Jose Ramirez versus Arnold, should I say, Barboza Jr. Now, I picked this one specifically for Dave. So, on terms of Barboza Jr., nothing against the guy, like Barboza Jr., good fighter, good boxer. But we last saw him out against Sean McComb back earlier on in the year. And Dave was not as much fuming. He had a good point because I agreed with him. We kind of agreed that Sean McComb, I'm just going to say, it was probably robbed. He done more than enough to win that fight. It was on a PBC card. Barboza got the job done. I think a lot of people, bar PBC fanboys, were saying exactly the same thing. McComb should have won. And I remember you going on Twitter, Dave, and retweeting and tagging Barboza Jr., tagging PBC, tagging Sean McComb. So come on, you've got to give him the fight. You've got to give him a rematch. You got beat, man. Hold your head up high. Say, look, I wasn't at my best. Go again. You probably beat McComb next time. You expect to do it. You had an off night. You weren't that great. But I brought this one specifically, and even though I was going to review it anyway, but there's X amount on the card, but this is probably one of the better ones that are there. So I kind of went down that route. Now, before I jump in to talk a bit more about it, how do you feel now? Have you gone back and thought, right, it happened, let's move on, or do you still think it should be Arnold Barboza Jr. versus Sean McComb again?
I do think the rematch should still have happened. I really, really do. When it happens, I feel like you should do. It took a long time for Josh Taylor to come out and do it, and it was a very similar thing. Josh Taylor said he won, and everyone he got a load of stick for it. Barboza hasn't really come out and said he won, but he did come out and say it's a business. I got the nod, sort of thing, and I'm moving on. And he has basically come out and said that, and that's why this fight is where it is. But we're not fighters, so it's very hard for us to say what we'll do. But I'd like to think I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I watched that back and thought I lost. And I think a lot of fighters would have, deep down would have think, what, I'd love to go out there and actually do a number on him now just to show that it was an off night. But he's brushing that one under the carpet, maybe, and moving on with his life and moving on with his career, and that's where this fight's come from. This is another close fight. This really is another close fight.
It's good matchmaking again from Golden Boy and Turkey. Just on Jose Ramirez, mate, I'm glad you mentioned Josh Taylor there. He fought against Josh Taylor back in 2021 to become undisputed champion of the world. Had a blip that night, a bit of a setback against Taylor. That's when Taylor was edging, or he was in the top pound for pound fighters in the world. He's had 3 fights since. He only fights once a year, so he's not very active, Ramirez. I think he's I think he left Top Rank. I think now he's gone to Golden Boy. That's correct. I think I'm right. Yeah. I say in those 3 wins, he had a good knockout win against Richard Comey. So he is going in the right direction. I believe it was a major blip. I think there's enough still in the tank for Jose Ramirez to go on and become a world champion yet again. With Barboza, he's been a little bit more active, mate. They're relatively the same. I think they're about the same age. I think they're about 32. They've got similar records, similar styles, really. They're both orthodox. Just had a nose at the weigh-in before I came on the podcast with you. Ramirez looks slightly bigger than Barboza, but obviously we don't know what's going on tomorrow with the hydration clause. You know, Abel Barboza Jr. might come in looking like a tank. Who knows? It's not an IBF, limited £10 bullshit. So, yeah, it's another tough fight. But with Barboza, mate, going back to him, he needs to be better than the McCone fight. He has to be. We know he's better than that. And I still think there's enough in the tank from him. I'll go straight into the predictions, mate. I was going for Jose Ramirez to win this. However, I've had a complete change of mind doing the notes today. And I actually love this. So doing my notes, as I always do, people, have a little read up, refresh my memory of who's fought who, etc. And then I come across this little article regarding Arnold Barboza Jr. Now, on this podcast, me and Dave, especially me, I've got an issue with belts, sanctioning fees, bullshit belts, robbing the fighters. So this fight was supposed to be an eliminator with the WBO for the winner to become the #1 contender to fight Teofimo Lopez. But Arnold Barboza Jr., he must have listened to Roper Dope Boxing podcast, and he's gone away to the WBO and said, hang on a minute, I'm already ranked #1. Why am I having another eliminator? Why am I paying you another 3% out of this massive purse for you then to not give me the Teofimo Lopez fight? I should be fighting him next. So what you do is you either make me fight him, or if I don't want to fight him, you take me out of the rankings, you put me down to 5, 6, 7, and I have to rebuild to get to #1. Or if Teofimo Lopez can't fight because of an injury, you make him champion in recess, or if he refuses, you fucking strip him. Don't take me for a twat. And he's gone. And he said, I'm not fighting for no sanction. Fuck your 3%. I ain't doing it. So the WBO have gone, right, okay, and if that's what you want to do, we just do it for 10 rounds. Barboza's gone, lovely, jubbly. No sanctioning fees. I'll just take my whole purse and I'll crack on that way. Mate, he's got a point. Fuck the fucking belts. He's #1. He, in the real world, he should be fighting Teofimo Lopez now, not Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez is like #5 or 6. So why are they having an eliminator for him to fight for his already #1 contender slot? And I thought, mate, that is music to my ears. I love hearing stuff like this. And also with Oscar, just quickly, Oscar De La Hoya's Clapback Thursday, mate. He mentioned something vital in his Clapback Thursday today. It was a bit of a long one. There was a lot of praise in there, not a lot on Eddie, but he did say about the Ring magazine. And he said, I'm not going to quote him exact words, but he said, we're getting closer now to the Ring magazine being recognised as that #1 belt.
Yeah.
To my ears. Albert Barboza Jr., man, you've made my fucking day. I love it. So going straight in here, mate. Not a dog in the fight, but I've jumped on Team Barboza, irrelevant to that Sean McCone fight. Albert Barboza Jr. to get it done on points. Love it. Well done, sir.
So you're basing his win on the fact that he been the belts, yeah?
Correct.
Boxing
Correct the Mundo.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay, well that's one way of calling a fight. But
you get his point, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly right. It makes sense. It makes sense, and that's what's wrong with all the belts. Like we could do a whole episode on that. Getting to #1 means fuck all, because you can end up having final eliminators, final eliminate, all this other shit. And all it is just so that the champions and that can pick the best fights and make the most money for it's bollocks.
Yeah, fuck them.
Bollocks. You have one voluntary when you're champion. And then you've got to fight your mandatory. And your mandatory should be whoever #1 is. End of fucking story.
Yep. Great.
But anyway, that's for another day. Also, what you said there, remember I said last week that it was Oscar that owned Ring Magazine?
Yeah.
And he said that in his Clapback Thursday, didn't he? That he'd sold it to, he wanted to keep it in America because he loved the magazine as a child and whatnot. But Turkey's doing something with it now. And he's getting it back out in paper print and all sorts of stuff, isn't he? So it's great.
Got my fingers crossed there, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. That does go in the way of the Ring magazine being that one recognised belt. So good vibes. Good. They're good sound bites. They are. Love it.
Yeah, they are.
What about the fight, mate? Where are you going? Ramirez versus Barboza Jr.
Well, you still stole my thunder. I'm not picking Barboza Jr. because of the fact that he'd been the belts and kicked up about them. But I put that McCone fight down to a bad night, or McCone taking his shot.
Yeah.
McCone won the fight. Fine. You have that. But looking at the two fighters with Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza Jr., I just feel Arnold Barboza is the fresher fighter. I think he will. I think this will be a different type of fight anyway because of the way that Ramirez fights compared to McComb. Styles make fights, and it was obviously a bad style for Barboza. I think Ramirez is a different style, and I think that Arnold Barboza will nullify that. And so I've looked at this fight, and I'm edging towards Barboza. I do think that it'll be a close fight in certain types of the fight. I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I think it will be a close fight, but I'm with you. I had Barboza to win on points.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, mate, definitely. I think they're quite similar styles as well.
Yeah.
Both orthodox, yeah, definitely, mate.
I think Jose Ramirez's style suits Barboza, whereas the movement from McComb, Barboza couldn't handle. Couldn't
McComb was a tall, rangy fight, wasn't he?
He was, but he was up on his toes the whole fight.
Yeah.
And his movement, I know I use it quite often, bamboozled Barboza. I don't think Barboza thought he was coming for that fight. Jose Ramirez is someone that will stand in the pocket, and so that there is opportunity there for Barboza to look better. I know he's not got a massive punch. If you look at his record, he's not a massive puncher, but he can punch all right. But I think that the way that Jose Ramirez fights suits Barboza's style, and that's why I think he'll edge it.
Yeah, mate. This guy needs no introduction. William Zepeda, our guy, as I call him, William Cameron Zepeda, takes on Tevin Farmer in our last preview of the night. Can't wait for this, mate. One of my favourite fighters. Dave's hiring him as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight in here because I think we've reviewed him and previewed him 4 times now. And every time we talk about William Zepeda, I ask Dave the same question. I've asked him 4 times, and every time he says, I don't know. So I'm going to ask him for the 5th time. And that question is, ladies and gentlemen, for loyal listeners of the podcast, you know where I'm going. How does Tevin Farmer beat William Zepeda? Do you still don't know, or have you come up with a solution?
1, I don't know, and 2, his style doesn't suit William Zepeda to beat him. I've always said you've got to push William Zepeda back. Tevin Farmer's a back-footed fighter, slick.
Correct.
And so for me, his style is not the style that I believe will beat William Zepeda. So to answer your question, I don't know.
You're consistent. I'll give you that.
But I mean, if you want me to, I can start if you want with this fight. Again, William Zepeda is a pressure fighter. On the front foot, throws lots of punches. Stalks his prey. He cuts off the ring. Brilliant pressure fighter. Some engine. We talk about his engine every time. Amazing. Now, Tevin Farmer is the complete opposite to that. He's a back-footed fighter. He's a counter puncher, slick movement. And his last fight, he old manned him. I think that,
yeah. He had a good night that night.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of tactic he's going to try and do again. I think he's going to try and frustrate Zepeda, try and old man him. But Zepeda's relentless. He really is relentless.
That's the word. And
Tevin Farmer's going to have to work every minute of every round to keep him off, and I think that's where he's going to struggle. He might try and pot shot in the early rounds with a bit of movement, and try and single shots and move around. But for me, William Zepeda is relentless again. I'll say it again, and he will cut him off. I do. When I said about the old man in sort of thing from Tevin Farmer, I do think that's his sort of tactic now. He's coming to the twilight of his career to frustrate, and but I don't see a stoppage here. I feel like Tevin Farmer. Maybe I'm giving him more credit than he deserves, but I feel like he's a white
champion, so he deserves.
Yeah, so I feel like as he's getting to the twilight of his career, he's becoming a wily old dog. Learning how to look after himself in the ring and get through fights. May not have the ambition now to go on and win, but can survive. No, and again, I don't want to say survive, but knows enough, got enough experience, got enough skills to see a fight out. And that's what I think is going to happen. So I'm going for William Zepeda to win on points.
Yeah, that'd be an achievement in itself.
Yeah, it would.
Farmer could do that because this guy, 31-0, 27 knockouts, Dave. You just said it. High output, high volume, fast, methodical, punches in bunches, aggressive, front-footed. I called him on here before. He's a shit that won't flush.
Yeah.
mate, I think this is over 10 rounds. This is. I don't think it's a 36-minute fight. Tevin Farmer's got to be able to keep him off for half an hour. No one is. I know he's gone the distance a couple of times, but no one. Now he's getting better and better and better. No one's able to do it. I mean, Tevin Farmer's an ex-world champion. Like you just said, he's good. He's slick. He's back-footed. He's a counter-puncher. Against Moratello, he had success, but he's not going to get the time and space and freedom that he got against Moratello that he's going to get against William Zepeda. William Zepeda breaks you down, and then round 5, 6, he goes up the gears. He knocks. I've never seen anybody with, like you just said, an engine. The output's ridiculous. Over 100 pounds, 100. He throws his output's 100 shots to ground, if not more. He's a freak of nature. Nobody's really done anything to sort of suggest that you can beat him. We need now to Zepeda. I'm going straight in now. I wouldn't say straight, you've already done it, but Zepeda for me will stop him because he won't be able to take that pressure. I think he's going to stop around about round 8. I think through round 8, it's going to be too much. He won't be able to get him off him. And what we need next, I just spoke about the sanctioning bodies there, the WBO. William Zepeda is ranked number 1 with all of them. Now, Ring Magazine have got their arse now with Uncle Turkey and what's happening. So what you need to do, when he wins, not if he wins, when he wins, the WBC, that's the fight they've been talking about with Shakur Stevenson. You say, right, you will fight Shakur Stevenson, will fight William Zepeda. You make that fight. If Zepeda don't want it, then you take him out the number 1 spot. Like I just said about Teofimo Lopez and Barboza. You take him out the number 1 slot. If Shakur Stevenson can't fight him if he's injured, make him champion in recess and make William Zepeda fight the rank number 2. So the winner of that then goes on to fight Shakur Stevenson. Stop fucking about, because the Ring Magazine will come in and they'll just take all that away from you. They'll say, right, Shakur, you're the champion, so you're the Ring Magazine champion. You'll fight Zepeda. If you don't, we will strip you, and we will do it the proper way. 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4. That has to be the fight next, because he's number 1 with the WBO, the IBF, and the WBA. What are we doing? Why are we fucking about? Just make the fight next. But I am jumping the gun, and I'm jumping the gun for a reason, Dave. This guy's a very, very special talent. Shaq will be watching this with fucking close eyes, because he's going to have to find a way how to stay away from the 36 rounds. Yes, Shakur's elite. He's a great footer. He's a much better fighter than Tevin Farmer off the back foot. He's hard to land on. He picks his shots well, pot shots, dances, runs around. All great stuff. Hit and not get hit. Love it. But this guy's a freak of nature when it comes to the strength, conditioning, endurance, stamina. He's next level. Is he the world's best boxer? No, he's not. But someone needs to stop him, and it ain't going to be Tevin Farmer, mate. So, yeah, I'm going in. Can't wait for this. Absolutely high on William Zepeda, as you guys can tell, an 8th round stoppage. But you're going on points. And again, no disrespect to Tevin Farmer, ex-world champion. He's done well in the sport, but it's his time now. It's Zepeda's time now. That record, let's stop padding it, Golden Boy. He's the real deal. Let's put him in proper fights. And this is where it starts. And it's on an Uncle Turkey card, mate. So hopefully Sunday morning, the casual fan will be saying, William Zepeda, who's that? Wow, I watched him last night. When's he fighting again? I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of that. How fast is he? How many punches does he throw? This is how you do it on big stages, man. Love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
So, yeah, mate. Just a couple of quick ones, because it is a Riyadh season card. Some good matchmaking on here. Oscar Collazo, he's on this card. He's fighting against a Thai guy. I might ask Dave. He hasn't got his box rec up, so he's lucky to pronounce his name. I can't pronounce it, but he doesn't call himself by his long Thailand name. He calls himself, you might have heard of this one, Dave, Knockout CP Freshmart.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Remember, I called this in the news.
I think, yeah, it does ring a bell now you said that.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I couldn't believe that was a name.
Yeah, no idea why he's calling himself that.
I thought it was a supermarket.
It sounds like one, doesn't it? Yeah. Maybe because no bugger can pronounce his name on, in the West. So yeah. Knockout CP Freshmart's taken on Oscar Collazo. This is for the WBO minimum weight title. Both guys are unbeaten. I've heard a lot of good things about Collazo. He's a golden boy fighter. He's one of Oscar's best. I'm hearing a lot. These guys weigh 7 stone. They're the smallest of the weights you can get. 9 times out of 10, Dave, they always deliver. We always wax lyrical about the small guys. They might steal the show on Saturday night. I expect them to, because they're so fast. The only thing they don't really get is the knockouts. But edge of your seat stuff, you're probably 99.9% they're going to deliver. So I'll be having a nosy at that one, mate. And Oscar Duarte as well. He's having a dance on here. He takes on a late replacement in, this is an odd one to say, Botsiran Akhmedov. I got the Akhmedov bet, but I'm not sure about the first name. I'll just call him Akhmedov. Duarte will be a name that regular listeners will remember. We previewed and reviewed him against Ryan Garcia, and we spoke about him recently when he stopped Jojo Diaz in April. When, guys, we said Jojo Diaz might be at the end of the career, but we never told him to retire. And that's a different rope another fucking podcast, who then go on to say go and watch Tyson. Mike Tyson versus.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting into that now. I'll come to the end of the show, mate. Just quickly on Akhmedov. It's a big puncher by his resume. He's a guy that's only lost to champions. He's a late replacement. And he's an Uzbeki fighter. So you know my love for Uzbeks in the Eastern Bloc. So, mate, I'll be watching all of it. It starts at 5 o'clock. I'm away and I'm at my daughter's birthday, so I'm getting back at 8 o'clock. But the good thing on DAZN, I can actually rewind it back and watch it from the start. So I will be locked into that one. And that's all on DAZN, as I said, ladies and gentlemen. All part of your subscription package. There's not an extra $24.99 on top of that. All courtesy of Uncle Turkey. Starts at 5 o'clock here in the UK, mate. Love it.
Yeah, going to my mum and dad's tomorrow, but I'll be back for that anyway. So I'll be having that straight on. I'm not going on the piss this weekend for once. So yeah, I'll be all over that show, mate. All over it.
Lovely. So yeah, I was going to ask you anything to add on weekend plans, but I think you more or less summed it up, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to my mum and dad's tomorrow, and I'm not doing a lot Sunday. So yeah, I'm having a bit of a quiet one. I've been out on a piss for the last God knows how many weekends, so I'm going to have a quiet
one. Yeah, mate, I don't blame you. So my daughter's birthday tomorrow. It's going to be 12. My daughter and your daughter just recently talking Arsenal on WhatsApp. They've been
it's lovely that.
Lovely. Yeah, of the day. Yeah. I think your daughter wants to come up a bit earlier. She was telling Freya to talk Arsenal and go Arsenal. So yeah. That's nice to see, mate.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's Freya's birthday tomorrow, so she's got football. We're going to Birmingham, doing things like that. Sunday, boys football. The Stourbridge girls ain't playing. There's a cup game. They're supposed to play in Wolves, but there's a cup game, so they can't play. So they've got a weekend off. So it looks like I'll be going on the piss, mate. But not too much, because we've got looking after one of Noah's little friends. So I've got to behave myself to an extent. Then it's back to work for me, and I'm done for the year. So that's our weekend wrapped up. That's
you forgot one more thing.
Yes, sorry, mate. I did mention it.
The non-boxing question of the week.
Go on, brother. Yes, I did. Well, I did say anything else to add. Yes, you're right. Go on, mate. Take it away.
Hang on, I might go blank here because I texted it to you.
I hadn't read it in my notes, see, and I should have done because we didn't do it on Sunday's show. But yes, you did text me earlier on. So
I did.
Gone blank. Go on in. Sorry, mate.
So yeah, the non-boxing question of the week. So what's more annoying? Now I'll go rattle through and then I'll tell you why I asked this. One is queue jumpers. 2 is people that chew with their mouth open. 3 is people that have the sound full blast on their phones in public, and 4 is thick people. Now, the reason this came up is because I was on the trains today, and I saw all 4 of that, and it didn't half wind me up.
What's the thick one? Give me an example of the thick one.
People are just like what they do when you get off the train. They just stop it. You know, as you're walking towards out the station, they just stop dead. They either go on their phones or they go in their pocket. They don't realise there's 20,000 people behind them.
Just fuck it. Is that not ignorance? But yeah, they are.
Think of shit. But I come off the trains wound up because they're packed like a pack of sardines. So and then like in the mornings it's even worse. Like the Eastern Europeans, they'll sit there, and even with my headphones in, they'll have their phones full blast watching their videos on the train. I can't get my head around it. Like it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's full blast. They don't give a fuck about their surroundings. So yeah, so obviously you could tell I was in a bit of a mood. So that was my non-boxing question of the week. Yeah, it's what's more annoying. Now for me, all 4 of them are equal, so it could be 25% for me on all of them. But I'd love to know what annoys people the most. So that's the non-boxing question of the week.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've got your non-boxing question of the week. That'll be put on Twitter ASAP. We'll have a week to take your vote. And we know what we say on this podcast, mate. When the boxing masses of rope-a-dope do vote, they are rope-a-dope boxing facts. We've had a few facts so far, and we'll continue to get the facts. And you'll give us the facts next week of what's the most annoying thing.
And you know what as well? You're never a hater when you only speak the facts.
Good old Oscar. I think he's going to have a bloody good weekend this week, mate. So yeah, let's wrap it up, mate. It's been an hour and 18 minutes. So that's it for episode 82. Like, share, and subscribe, especially the subscribe bit now on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. That's the place to go for your visual needs and obviously your audio feed. Give us a follow and a 5-star review as usual on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. And we'll be back hopefully on Monday to discuss the consequences, should I say, that everything that happens over the weekend. And I'll stand by my word. I will not be reviewing the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. But anyone who wants to tune in for that, Mr. Holland there will be reviewing it. I guess he's not watching it. As I normally say, guys, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and then try to enjoy the bloody boxing. Davey boy, peace out, brother.
Take care, mate. Have a good one.